But I have fun doing it. I really do enjoy radio because I find that radio is important, and I need to share the information out with the public. And I have people call in toll-free numbers and say, Derrick, I need a message from someone. Is it possible you can get a message? Let's see what happens. You know, or else we actually do also have other guests on our show. We talk about other versions of alternative ways, or even paranormal work. So I have all kinds of people from all across the world. We have about 1.5 million listeners. And so, as you are listening here today, the Interline Online Chapel is actually about 1.5 million listeners watching. And right now, it's this church service is being picked up through Google, or being picked up through other programs, because people are saying, "Oh, you got to see this, you got to see this, you got to see this." And this is what's happening in the Spiritualist movement. It is growing more and more each time. As you notice that this Inner Garden it's only a baby. Are celebrating our anniversary coming up this June.
3rd of June.
3rd of June. It'll be 1 year with the Spiritualist Church. 1 year being here. The greatest thing, greatest start for a baby start. Baby steps into this location here. And I got a funny feeling.
We were actually founded in 76.
Yeah. Yeah. But having to be started as the Inner Garden Online Chapel, and as the location, a permanent local, I would say we call it sort of like a location. We're looking forward to having a large building church. We're waiting for someone who's actually in spirit to give us this wonderful location, so we can have thousands of people showing up. It's going to happen. Interesting part was when I actually had this, I was going to go back to my radio show, I had this wonderful guest. How many of you guys actually know who Kenny Kingston is? Okay, Kenny Kingston is very well known. He was a psychic to the stars. He actually used to read for Marilyn Monroe, John Kennedy, Harry Truman, people like that, very famous stars back in the 50s and 60s and on up. Kenny's still living. And he was on my show. He's actually a wonderful man. Barb came online, and she never said a word. Kenny says to her, he says, "Barb, I have a message for you. Message is this. You're going to have a huge congregation." He says, "You're moving, and the church is going to be huge. Look forward to it." He says, "Don't freeze. There's going to be lots of people come to the church. Lots and lots of people, by the hundreds." He says it's going to happen. Now, she didn't tell him too much. All she said, "I remember Barbara Leonard's just to support her. Thank you for coming on their show. I really appreciate that." He's just laying with her, letting her know what's going on. Kenny is good at what he does. I've seen this guy doing outstanding work. I've read his book, and it's quite outstanding. But he was one of my idols when I was 13 years old. I'm 51 now, and I remember watching him on television and seeing him do his work, and I thought, "What kind of cool to be like a guy like him." Now, I never was playing no psychic role back then. I was just being a kid. Next thing you know, here I am on this platform. I thought, now, isn't Kenny really what influenced it? But it was just the idea of saying in your mind, it'd be great to be like him. And that's exactly what happens. People like him create that thought form because we have an interest of being there. That's exactly what happens. So we are creating that desire. A new desire is when we want to be where we want to be. So if you want to be a mushroom, that's fine. You know, we can sit there in the garden and let ourselves grow. Because some people like to be in the corner inside and just put themselves over in that corner. And then people like to want to be seen. Those want to be out in the open and want to just look like a star, which is great. That's our choice of opportunity in life. But when we work, we travel. Myself, I like to travel. I can help a lot of people in my work, and I really enjoy what I do. I find it's really important. And I give off a lot of my time right now to share some of the stories. Actually, Barb and I, we went down to we had a meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, and we did a homelessness meeting with 50 plus other presenters from the homelessness organization, and to help the people that are actually living in the streets and give them support to find some of the means to find locations for them to live, besides living in the streets and suffering and having to deal with starvation or having to deal with homelessness. And so Barb and I went there for support to give them some ideas how to help people in the community. And this is some of my experiences and some of her experiences she shared, and we have this all set up with these folks. And so they're putting all these new ideas and agendas in the program. And one of the better ideas that we decided to do, we all agreed with, is actually putting out together a conference. And the conference would be a 3 to 4 day conference for the public to actually be involved in workshops to help the homelessness. for those so we can actually help understand why they're there. Because there's a lot of people out there right now today that don't have what we've got. And we have to give thanks for the things that we do have. Even though at times we don't have loved ones by our sides anymore because they have crossed over. But they are safe. But the ones in the streets are not. They think they are. But we cannot turn our eyes aside and say, well, I'm glad it's not me. Sometimes we have to be there for them to help them. So if you do see someone in the street who looks like a beggar, and he or she believes they need some money, and if you think that they may be conning you or not, the fact is, it makes no difference whether you give them a quarter or not. It's best to give them something. At least you may never know. That could be a walking angel asking you for help. Because it was amazing. Sometimes people need that. People just need that support. Some people make a living out of it. We call them buskers. But that's fine. At least that they're trying to find some easy ways of surviving. And that's the thing. They're trying to do. This church right now today is trying to do as much as it possibly can to help the community. Because there's very few churches around right now. They have so many programs going on all around this world. But homelessness is absolutely important, especially in our Aboriginal community, in my community. I watch a lot of mothers, single moms that have kids, and they don't have places to live. I remember my wife and I had to help a young family, native family from Wetland, Saskatchewan. They came here to BC because they thought they would have a great chance. The young man was an artist. And he thought he would have a great chance using his artistic skills to sell, to make a living here and start fresh. He was 2 children. And one of his children actually wasn't here. It was his own child. And so when he came here, he thought he was able to get a really great start, and social services wouldn't help him because they told him that he wasn't here long enough, and he had to have proof that where he was located from. They wouldn't help him. So when he came to Métis Family Services, where I worked there as a counselor, and I said to him, I said, I've got an idea. It's still summer. I said, if you're willing to come up to the campgrounds where I live, I said, I'll take care of you guys. We'll pitch a tent, and we'll bring you food, and we'll get you back on your feet. So they were there for a month. And it was the best thing for this young man and his wife. And now she is studying to be a social worker. And as far as I understand, as I speak today, she's actually has already done her tests. She's already passed as his wife. Her husband now is, I brought him to one of the art galleries to bring forth his art. Now they want to do greeting cards. So this couple's got a chance. And the kids now are able to go back to school. So it doesn't mean that we can't just give them something. Just give them a little bit of things, a bit of support, because no matter what day we celebrate, whether it's St. Patrick's, no matter if it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's important. Every day is important because those people out there need it as much as we do. So we ask you for your prayers and your help when you can. You don't give up everything, why don't you just give a little of your time? If you need to do it. Now, word of warning, don't do it by phone. Anybody calls you by phone and wants you to donate, don't do that. If you want to donate, you contact the people yourself personally and have them come and see you, or you send them something in the mail. But don't do it by phone, because if by some chance that, because there are people that have these stupid, crazy organizations now that pretend to be, they're not. And it's better to be safe than sorry. So I can thank you for your time on that one. Blessings, guys.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that as we go into our healing portion of the morning, that we should send healing out to the homeless people that don't have a roof over their head, warm clothes, food. So maybe we can send some healing energy out to them. What we do, what makes us a little different from other church services, is the healing portion of the service. We have a healing bowl in the back where the circle of chairs are. If there's someone that you know that needs healing, there we go. That you would like us to send healing energies to, the healing facilitators each day will say healing prayers for those folks. So please write down their first name, and as Reverend Barbara always says, God knows who they are, so you don't need to write their second name.